not because it's my real emotion. I'm mad and angry because I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. Poisoned by disappointment with your church, poisoned by disappointment with leadership, poisoned by disappointment with people, poisoned by folk that you give a chance to and it looked like it kills you, poisoned because life did not happen the way you thought it would. I'm just disappointed. And that is the scaling and the revelation that underlines Pentecost. Oh God. Acts chapter 2 talks about the day of Pentecost, when the day of Pentecost had fully come and they were all sitting on one accord in one house. There, do you understand that disappointment was in that room? I need to paint the picture. There was a man that they saw raised from the dead and preach to them and leave them. And everybody in that room, the 120, were all disappointed people. People don't talk about it, but Pentecost was God moving for disappointed people. My God. Have you ever been drowning in disappointment? Drowning in disappointment. That's not how I thought this would be. I left fishing boats for you, Jesus. Oh God. I left tax tables for you. I shut down my business and followed you. Left my career. Left security for you. Spent years watching you work miracles. 3 years, matter of fact. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 years of hearing you talk about promises. 3 years of believing that heaven was changing prophecy and history. Oh God. And now Jesus is dead. Now Jesus is dead. Not in a coma. Not sleep. They've seen him sleep. Not comatose, as we would say. He's dead. Buried and silent. Can't you imagine the disappointment? I gave up everything for you and now you're dead. Not taking a nap. Dead. Not on a vacation. Dead. Yeah. Y'all don't like me talking tonight. Y'all don't like this stuff. Y'all don't like this type of teaching. No. Not mad and just cut me off and going ghost. Dead. You must understand, they gave up their entire lives to follow him. Like some of you tonight. You've given up a lot to follow him. And seems like the prophecy, the dream is dead. Oh God. Dreams shattered. Fear everywhere. Can you imagine? I sold my house to follow you. I left my wife to follow you. I left my job. I left my stable life to follow a promise, a prophecy in you. And now you are dead. The one I thought, I put all my faith in you. And now you are hanging on a cross, dead. I'm watching you die. Only to not realize that him dying was not just my master, my Messiah dying. That was my hope dying with him. Oh God. The one, Lord have mercy, they thought would restore everything, now wrapped in burial clothes, fine linen, dead. Peter, you know Peter, the one that cussed. Peter was so disappointed. The one that said, I'll never deny him, but he failed him. Thomas carried disappointment. He needed proof. He said, I'll go all the way with you and die with you. Jesus said, no, stay back here. Dead. Even Judas had a disappointment. Mary, I pushed out my baby. Only for him to look like to me commit suicide. All he needed to do, can't you hear the mama side of Mary saying all you needed to do was be quiet for a little while, but you kept talking. All you needed to do is stop moving so much, just rest. But he had to work, and now he's dead. Disappointment. Bible says some of them went back fishing. Some of the disciples went back, Pastor Speller, fishing and went back to their careers. You know why? Because disappointment always pulls you backwards. It never pushes you forward. Disappointment always pulls you backwards. Back to old habits, back to old thinking, back to old versions of yourself, back to old relationships. Because disappointment makes people retreat. Make you isolate yourself, makes you lack insight and empathy. And so now you lock yourself in a room, locking yourself out of feeling like that again. I refuse to feel. No, you're not numb, you're disappointed. Oh, I'm talking tonight. Oh, no, you're not mean, you're disappointed. No, you're not, you're not hyper independent, you're just disappointed. You're not bitter, you're disappointed. You're not resentful, you're disappointed. And so now you lock yourself away from trust again. You lock yourself away from real worship. You lock yourself away from being vulnerable again. You lock yourself out of expectation. You lock yourself away from hope, because if I let any of that in again, I will be possibly disappointed. And maybe tonight there's someone listening to me that understands the disciples. They understand, you understand me, you understand Pastor Speller, you understand tonight, because disappointment will make your prayer life feel heavy. I don't even want to pray. Make worship feels distant. Make faith feels too expensive. It's too much for me to do that. Disappointment will have you sitting in confusion. Can't you hear them? I thought he was the one. I thought life would look different. I thought he was going to be the king of the Jews. We thought by now God would have moved. I thought you would have been did it, God. And some of you watching me tonight have the same recollect, the same murmur, the same quote of the disciples. I would have thought by now. I would have thought by now I've been here. I would have thought by now I would have had the house. I would have thought by now I've been married. I would have thought by now I would be in my career. I would have thought by now I'd be doing this. I would have thought by now. And I thought I've been married. Thought by I've been changed. Thought that my business would have recovered. Thought that I would feel better. Thought that God would have answered my prayer by now. Thought that my life would make sense. Thought that all this. But that's what makes Pentecost. Not because they had it all together. Not because disappointment wasn't inside of them as a poison. Acts chapter 2 says, and suddenly Oh God. There came a sound from heaven. Let me tell you something. And you don't have to shout about it. You don't have to believe me. But as Rita Rainbow said, take a look, is in the book. I got a promise. It's a rainbow. It's a promise. I got one word for you. God will give you a suddenly. Suddenly one answer, suddenly one miracle, suddenly one phone call, suddenly one healing, suddenly one movement, suddenly your children will, their lives. Do you understand what God did? The Bible said fire fell on them.